The following stream has been approved for all puzzle audiences by the puzzle general community. Hey guys, how's it going? This is Cards of the Heart, and this is yet another double set of losers bracket matches for you guys in Mystery Puzzle Challenge, brought to you by Puzzle General. In this matchup, we have on the left spacecow versus knighty, and on the right we have pidge versus ilikebeingsmart. And to help me call the action tonight is our esteemed organizer extraordinaire, Dark Aries. Dark Aries, how you holding up tonight?
I'm doing good. I remembered to unmute my mic this time around, so we're already on to a good start.
All right, that's good to hear. So the game that we are playing this time is a rather small indie game, but this looks to be quite a lot of fun. It's called Max Capacitor, and it's billed as a very easy game, but well, it may not be the easiest thing in the world. Let's just leave it at that. There are a bunch of rooms that have to be traversed in the process of completing this goal, which is to beat the game. So whenever someone is free from these rooms, free in quotes, then the game will be over. So let's see if anyone can manage to escape. So without further delay, I guess we should go ahead and get this started.
Yep, let's go ahead and try doing this efficiently. Boom. Okay, we're on to a good start here.
This is fine. This is fine. Again, this is a very easy game, but don't be afraid of hard puzzles. All right, you gotta persevere a little bit. And there isn't. And just hold Z, and you can undo some of your moves, which is nice. So the idea of this game is that you have to activate capacitors, charge them up, and then move them onto some switches to open a door. And you can charge these capacitors either by shooting them with a laser, or by having one touch another charged capacitor. And having capacitors touch each other becomes a rather significant part of dealing with these puzzles in the early going.
Yeah, because one of the things is, and I don't know if you've had the chance to notice it yet, for those in chat, but a charged capacitor, when it reaches another charged capacitor and they touch, they will actually bond together, and you can't push them apart anymore. They're just one object. So that will be useful in some puzzle solving as well there, when the intended solution requires you to attach capacitors together in order to push it into a place that you normally wouldn't have been able to push it before when it was by itself there. But it also makes it a bit trickier because you need to make sure you accidentally don't attach capacitors, or you realize in what intended way they want the capacitors to attach and which ones, in order to create the solution that you need.
Yeah, be prepared to watch a lot of people accidentally touch capacitors in a way that they don't want to. So as we can see, spacecow and knighty have gotten off to a bit of an early start, but knighty looks like is starting to see the effects of the laser. Your character is certainly not immune to the laser, so don't touch it. It's my best advice for that.
Yeah, you can touch high voltage capacitors, but you can't survive lasers for some reason.
Huh, imagine that. And Pidge and ilikebeingsmart over on the right are falling just a little bit behind, but at least they are in their own match. They did not have to worry about spacecow and knighty here. So should be noted, like a lot of matches in this tournament, especially a lot of losers bracket matches. These matches were not done at the same time. These were recorded in the week, but we made sure to record them so that way you guys can see how these turned out.
Yeah, I actually I didn't create it, but I kind of pieced it all together, a nifty system, so that way the runners can stream their match, so a tournament moderator can proctor it by watching it live, but the server that they stream to actually records their stream, so that way, like now, all I have to do is download the file and then play them with VLC or my media player of choice, and I can just window capture all that, so it's a pretty efficient system. It lets us do these matches not live and have them live now. Who knew?
And believe me, Aries, I cannot say this enough. We are forever grateful for you setting that up.
I try sometimes. Sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes.
Okay, so looks like spacecow has caught up to knighty in this room, and this room that those two are in is probably the first really tricky one. You're gonna have to form some type of L or J shape in order to get through this, and I found that with my proctoring of one of the matches in this group that forming those L or J shapes can be really important in solving some of these puzzles.
Yeah.
Something to keep an eye on during the course of this match.
This is the first room where it kind of forces you to learn that, hey, you need to piece together capacitors in order to be able to move them onto separate places, and it looks like knighty has figured out the solution here at this point. Yeah, he looks like
there it
they
is.
have it.
Push it to the side, then push it up and push it back in, and there we go. So this next level for knighty will teach you to use these capacitors as shields, since they absorb the laser energy. You gotta use the capacitor as a shield in order to push three of them through. But you gotta have the other one on the other side first before you do it, because there's really no going back after a certain point. Something to be cognizant of. Meanwhile, Pidge and Smart are banging their heads against a couple of these early puzzles. I hope that's not a sign of things to come.
It looks like ilikebeingsmart just isn't realizing that the mechanic of the room involves opening it up with one, then going through the door to push the other one on, so that way you can push it back out and push it down. Oh, and looks like right as I'm saying that, they got it. Awesome. The positive
Finally.
commentator's curse.
There we go. And knighty kind of had the idea with the room before he realized that he needed to get one of the capacitors to the other side, and yeah, and looks like this might be the first level that has a chance to significantly wall multiple competitors on this cross-shaped level. Wouldn't you say, Aries?
Yes, I can confirm that this level is definitely a wall. I may or may not have wasted 20 minutes on this level and did not pass it in my time of testing. I know, it's terrible of me. It makes it worse that those crazy guys actually beat the game in a little over half an hour, while I couldn't get past this stage. But I have no grudges. I bear no ill witness. It's just this is definitely a wall. Definitely a wall. Because it makes you really think about how you do things. Because there's a lot of attempts where you'll get where you obviously know you have to combine capacitors together in order to do something, but because the walkways are only that one space wide and you can't walk freely in and out of them, it really restricts your movement. And you also have to be super aware of how you're placing them as well. Because right now, for example, if we look at Knighty, the way that they had it set up was the cross all beyond that one piece, and it was actually
There
looks
it
like
is.
it's gonna happen. Yeah, so you have it all but one piece, but as soon as you move the capacitor into it, it's gonna attach from the bottom, not the middle, and you now can't fix anything because you can't do that. So there's only really kind of like one proper solution and a lot of improper solutions. So
For sure, Nighty's going through a lot of rewinding in order to hopefully arrive at the correct solution, which is some variation of move two of the pieces down to the bottom, like so, and then connect the other three together. There we
see,
go.
I never grasped that. Now I feel like a really big dummy, like the coyote in the Wile E. Coyote.
Oh,
But Acme's
don't
not
worry.
sponsoring this stream, so it's like, hey Acme Corp, if you want to sponsor a stream, just come over here.
And it looks like Space Cow is getting close to, yeah, there we go. Space Cow finally learning to use capacitors as shields, and Pidge getting a bit of the cross pattern together to move on to their next puzzle. Meanwhile, ilikebeingsmart still not getting that the J shape pattern needs to be done for this puzzle. So
Yeah.
as for Knighty, this one seems the most involved, but I get the impression from the lack of space up top that you would probably want to have those in place before you do too much with the bottom.
Yeah, I think I never reached this stage, so I can't confirm or deny anything. But I think that part of the intended solution probably involves having the top part completely done, or at least done all but one part. So that way you can do all of the bottom, because the bottom probably involves pushing a piece in, going in, and then pushing it towards everything else. That or in reverse. In any case, I think there's probably a point where you create the line of 3 and then you go behind it to push it all the way in. I can only assume that that's part of the solution.
I mean, yeah. The end game of the stage is definitely to form the three in a row capacitors when you're behind all of them, and half the trouble with this stage is getting all of those capacitors in a position where you don't end up trapping yourself in the process. So this will be an interesting. This will be interesting to see how Knighty chooses to solve that one. Meanwhile, looks like Space Cow's close to the right idea for this one. Just gotta think a little further ahead. Move those down, and you should be fine. This starts to become one of the tougher parts of watching
Yep.
these matches, having the benefit of seeing the puzzles from a distance. You can tell more easily what needs to be done. But when you're in the heat of the moment, your mind can go completely blank.
Looks like Pidge is also still struggling on that stage there, trying to figure out the solution for it.
Oh man, and like Knighty just looks so close. You've got to find a way to pull those capacitors. And but by the way, there's only pushing in this game. You are not allowed to pull anything. Can't pull the punches, but you can undo them. That's about all you can hope for. And as we check up on Pidge and Smart, Pidge pushing capacitors around, Smart just wondering, what in the world do I do now? It's not a good feeling. And Pidge wants to believe that she solved the puzzle, but she's not getting by those capacitors.
Yep.
So it's easy to get yourself stuck behind a bunch of connected capacitors. You cannot undo them once they are charged together. So that's something
like,
you will definitely have to plan around.
How's the shape of the capacitors? Oh, they might be on. They might be on the solution here.
Oh, I think she is on the way.
I think
to this one.
Do they have it?
Yep, she's still good. Yep, this will work. Yeah, yep. She's got that one.
Awesome. On to the next stage.
And now, yes, Pidge has also moved on to the two 1x3 capacitor puzzle.
And as you say that, it looks like spacecow has just entered that stage 2.
Oh boy, this is starting to get really close. And hopefully once Smart learns how to use a capacitor as a shield, she will be able to join them. But no, she's learning how painful lasers are.
Lasers hurt.
I see the blood stain. I believe it.
Reminder: don't shoot lasers in the air. It's a big no-no.
I mean, you do kind of need the lasers to charge the capacitors at some point. Hopefully, we'll get to see how that works. Oh man, oh geez, what do you? yeah, this puzzle that everyone else is on can certainly force you to make some tough-looking decisions. Fortunately, I have the convenience of looking at a task, a tool-assisted speedrun of this entire game, which does a whole game in about a minute and a half.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, through the use of recording key inputs and replaying them back. It's a pretty neat watch. Hello, do not put me on pizza. How many rooms are there after that? The 6th room? I think there are 5. I believe we're at the midway point in this game.
Highly possible.
Quote me on that. So I'll take a look at this. I'll take a look at this task again and see what it actually does. Certainly, when you are making a bunch of inputs quickly and buffering them, the animations look a bit silly. But yeah, it looks like from here that there's a lot of back and forth.
Oh, dang, I blinked. And somehow Knighty has it all.
There we go.
Knighty is in the lead. Looks like
That is some
spacecow and
good
pidge are
stuff.
still at it, and ilikebeingsmart is still not making that corner shape.
Uh oh. Yeah, can't
They're
make
getting
the middle
close to
line.
it though. I mean, it's kind of non-intuitive, because you have to realize, oh, if I have it like in the corner shape, then I can push forward and it won't kill me by the laser. But it's not something that's like pointed out. It's you have to figure it out.
And speaking of laser, Knighty is learning that you have to use charge capacitors to operate lasers. So gotta use the laser, point at the capacitor, turn it on so that way it can be used to press the final switch.
What?
Oh, okay,
They
Space Cow's got this one. There we go.
There we go. Knighty finally figured out the solution.
Ah, there it is.
They had it for a moment, and then they kind of like hesitated. I was really worried there for a moment.
So once you learn that charged capacitors operate lasers, you also learn that you can turn them off a bit, or you can block them with other capacitors, which will prove to be a bit on the important side for this particular room. Meanwhile, Pidge and Smart, they're kind of just staring into nothingness, wondering what in the world did I do wrong in my life.
I mean, I felt like that oftentimes when I was testing all the games. I feel for them. There's some walls that are just really tough.
Yeah, it did seem like there were quite a few points in this game where you did have to think a little more than a few seconds on what you needed to do to get to the final position to clear the stage.
I would like to know where the developer got their definition of a very easy game, because I don't think it was from any regular English dictionary.
Well, this may not be a very easy game to play, but it might have been something of an easy game to program. Did you know, for instance, that this game was actually made on a train?
I did not know that. Now I do.
So yeah, this game was made during a game jam type of event. A game jam is a gathering of developers that get together and make small games within a really constrained time limit. Usually a game jam will focus around a central theme, but the central theme about this game jam during which Max Capacitor was made was that all the game developers were on a train. They were on a train ride from Chicago to San Francisco for the game developer conference, and they had 52 hours for the teams to get together and make all of these games, and this was a product of such an event. And spacecow taking the lead. Well, just now catching up, not taking the lead, just catching up to Knighty here. Like they're getting so far ahead of Pidge and Smart. It's getting a little bit on the pressing side.
But luckily, they're their own separate match, so it doesn't matter that they're far ahead from Pidge and Smart, because they actually aren't worried about them. They're just worried about themselves. Also, I think if Amtrak started advertising game jams on their trains, they'd probably be a lot more popular. Just saying.
Possibly. So it certainly looks like for this stage, that Knighty and spacecow are on, you have to form some sort of line of charge capacitors and push that line around a few places, in order to fill all of the holes.
See, I'm still trying to figure out how would you... Oh, well that explains a lot of it. I was just about to say, how are you supposed to push a line of 4 where it's supposed to go, but Knighty just figured it out and then
line of
undid
4 might be a problem. Line of 3 might work a little bit better. See, maybe there's a way to make a line of 3. Maybe that laser can do something about that.
Tickets for train jam sold out in 2 hours. See, I just knew it. Although when I looked up, because I was actually looking when I was wanting to go to GDQ for the SGDQ for the first time, I was actually looking at the train going from Buffalo to Minneapolis, and it was a very long train ride, so I just drove 14 hours instead of taking 24, and there was no Wi-Fi. So I wonder how these train jams work when there's no Wi-Fi. Unless they magically put in Wi-Fi, who knows?
The train might have had Wi-Fi. That's definitely something worth looking up if we have time, and if Pidge and Smart are going to continue to stare blankly into space while figuring out how to do these puzzles, we might have that time.
Anything is possible.
Well, it looks like Knighty's trying to push around a set of dormant, uncharged capacitors.
Nope, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, I don't think you have enough there.
The trick is to either do... Oh. Yeah, that's just not gonna work, because no matter what, now it has a tumor on the left that you can't undo.
Right, so it makes sense during a train jam when you're remote areas that you want to have every this tacit.
I think you might be having poop net issues.
So that the laser should be shooting three of the capacitors at once, and then those 3 can be maneuvered. And there we go with the spacecow. But yeah, you maneuver 3 of them in a line to hit one area. Use the top capacitor you use to unlock the laser to connect to the others, and then use the last capacitor on the last switch, and it's a simple one from there. Let's see if Knighty will be able to figure out how to best use the laser.
Smart has the right shape, but it's in the wrong orientation.
Okay, yeah. You're gonna have to deal with the laser at some point, and yeah, you can't maneuver the laser in that position. So now he's gonna have to undo all of that. He will once he realizes the problem, but you can certainly make a lot of moves before realizing that mistakes were made and having to use the undo button to undo all your moves. There is no room reset from what I'm aware, so you basically have to hold down Z for a long time once you realize that you done goofed.
She figured out the shape. She just left the capacitor behind.
That is a shame. And yeah, I am I am being told that Space Cow is indeed on the last level. So we might actually see a completion sometime soon. If Space Cow can
It's pretty
figure
crazy
out
that there was such a lead change, because Knighty was ahead for the whole time, and this level just happened to wall them harder than it did for Space Cow. So
yeah, this is just the way of blind games. Like someone can be in the lead for a long time, but then they get stuck on some bend, and someone else can get that puzzle immediately and change the whole tide of the race.
yep.
It's always something you gotta look out for in these. And I can tell you right now, Smart's been stuck on this stage for at least 10, maybe 15 minutes, and she wanted to give up at this point. I did a lot of urging her not to give in yet, because I mean Pidge has been stuck on the same puzzle herself for 15 minutes, so and the Smart is like 2 stages behind, so there was definitely some room for Smart to come back and get back into the match.
If you don't see your opponent doing a dot done, you just need to keep plowing through, because they could be just as stuck as you are. You never know.
Let's see. Is Space Cow gonna be able to maneuver these capacitors in the right place? That's gonna be a problem.
Oh, maybe.
I think.
Maybe.
Oh, the laser.
They overshot
too far.
the laser.
Too far. The laser was moved too far. You move it there and there.
And
you are free. Congratulations, Space Cow, for taking out this game in a time of about 30 minutes, 12 seconds. And he will be moving on to the next round to face NPC. Meanwhile, Knighty, a mystery tournament veteran, definitely good at blind games in his own right, is gonna have to settle for a round 2 loss.
No, looks like they didn't manage to get through the level there, though. They only managed to do that a little bit earlier.
Yeah. I think some might call this an upset. I mean, Knighty's not terrible at puzzle games from what I remember, so to see him go 0-2 in this tournament, certainly a lot of the luck of the draw had to come into play to make a result like that. Just very unfortunate there, but props to Space Cow for rebounding.
Yeah, that was a clutch takeover right there.
Yeah. Props to spacecow for rebounding after his loss to the spin beast earlier.
Over on the right, we still have the two of them stuck on those levels.
Oh man. I keep wanting to see Smart try to use those capacitors as a shield, and it was killing me inside watching this as I was proctoring this match. I was dying a little bit inside every time Smart tried something that wasn't going to work or ran into one of the lasers. But yeah, it's almost like Pidge has just gone into complete deep thought at this point. I believe she's been on this puzzle for 20 minutes now.
And the thing is, whenever you're walled at a stage like this in any puzzle game, it just makes you feel like an idiot as soon as you actually figure out the solution, or you see somebody else do the solution, because it's like, why did I not recognize that that's what I'm supposed to do? There's always that's the thing about this tournament as well, like, a lot of it has to do with how well you cope with walls as well, because if you get super stressed out and just can't focus properly, that's going to really affect you as well, and just continue to keep you walled, while if you just can stay calm and continue just kind of thinking things through, you have a better chance of just getting through the puzzle a lot more quickly.
Oh, I think Smart has finally got the premise of the stage.
Oh.
Maybe she was actually using the capacitors as a shield.
I think something's clicking there right now.
Now if only she remembers to get the other capacitor to the other side first. Oh, she backed out of it! Ah!
Hold on.
I mean, these like, these details can be so easy to overlook when you're stressed out. And
Alright, Pidge is just doing a hard reset of the stage.
Oh, I can't blame her.
Yeah, there's just the time where you gotta start from scratch. Oh, what do we have here? That capacitor's moving.
Oh, gotta move it one more. Okay, that's not gonna work. You'd have to
close.
Oh, you'd have to walk into the laser to get to the left of it to scooch it back right.
So close.
Now she's back to trying to move the 2x2 block and getting lasered as a result. Meanwhile, Pidge has managed to connect a full row of capacitors, so she's completely stuck. There's absolutely no way to maneuver everything in place from there.
More than likely, with Smart right now, she's probably like, okay, I have it here, but how do I just combine the two together? And it's probably like super frustrating, because now it's like an inch closer to the solution, and you know you're closer, but you still can't get that final piece.
Oh, Knighty has so much of the puzzle to the final room
She did it.
solved, but he doesn't realize that he needs to take the laser.
She did it.
Oh, thank goodness.
Now she's on the cross stage.
Man, I really hope for her sake that she doesn't take forever on this puzzle, because she might start going insane after a little bit. I know Smart tends to get a bit on tilt when things don't go her way. She just has to keep it together.
Yep. But I mean, she's not that far behind. Like, if she gets through this stage, she's on the same. Then she'll be on the same stage as Pidge. So.
I do wonder. I do wonder at points if maybe this slightly isometric view of the stage layout messes with your head a little bit in terms of how much you're able to move things. Like maybe if you have to move something up or down, you may not realize just how much room you have to fall down, to move down.
That's entirely
in order
possible.
to
Because I mean, it's especially kind of an issue with those one block passageways to the left and right, because it doesn't really look like a one block passageway. Especially because of the floor line going through it, making it look like it's actually more than one space.
Yeah, Smart seeing the problem with this particular stage, and Pidge just doing a full reset on her end. I mean, Smart could still save this. Like, if she can just move it almost just about all the way down, then fit the charge capacitor in place on top, and then go and then approach the well, no, that never mind. That doesn't work that way. You have to move two of the pieces down.
Yep.
And then make the L shape with the other three.
I don't think there's an alternate solution for this game. Unlike Moai-kun yesterday, where there was an alternate solution that I don't think anybody else did. And then that kind of brings us to the question, is that the intended solution, or was it just like an unintended solution? That makes you think about like what goes through people's brains when they try to design a puzzle game, because they might inadvertently create more than one solution without even realizing it.
Definitely something worth grilling people like Saiho more on as we go along this tournament, because that kind of insight would be very valuable to see how these games get made.
I'd be down. I could even grill them in Polish if I have to. We'll do a translation later.
That you could. Bit unfortunate for Knighty here. Seems to be walled at this last level. Not sure he knows yet about needing to take the laser down.
Yeah. Yeah, knowing to bring that laser down is pretty rough. See, you don't really realize it at first. But it does make sense, because how else are you supposed to get that capacitor on the right to actually be charged up when you only have 3 capacitor slots and 3 capacitors, and one of them's in charge? You have to bring the laser down there somehow. So it kind of makes it obvious when you think about it. It's obvious anyways. At first glance, it might not be so obvious, because you're probably first trying to wonder, okay, how do I get the door open first with one of the two capacitors that I already have here.
Yeah, I know one of my general approaches to puzzles is to try and start from the end and work backwards. So if I were to work from the end of this, I see this lone uncharged capacitor, and I'm thinking it's probably not a good idea to bring a connect a charged capacitor to it. And then I start looking at how many capacitors I have for this level. Like gotta have one. I gotta have one to open the first switch and one to open the second. Doesn't leave much room to bring another capacitor in for the last one.
Yeah, and it's that kind of trying to teach the solution without explicitly giving it style of level layout that's going on right there.
That's probably a more valuable lesson for like all types of game developers, not just puzzle game developers, because even some other classic genres may see some benefit from not over teaching the player how to do things.
Yeah, it's definitely, and you see it a lot with more retro games as well, which gets into the whole discussion of like older games versus newer games. But older games were pretty good at trying to teach the mechanics of the game without actually needing you to have any outside knowledge or to read the manual or anything like that. And then we get Metroid, which is just like, you need the manual. You absolutely need it.
And a map.
Yes, and a map.
To be fair.
That game breaks all of those older, oh yeah, these games were so good, didn't need tutorials. No, Metroid should have had a tutorial.
Okay, so Pidge has officially been on the same puzzle for 30 minutes.
That has got to be rough.
Like all the emotions that have to be going through Pidge's head right now. Like it seemed relatively straightforward to get to this point, and then this point it's just I don't know how to do this, and I cannot unfreeze my brain.
Let me do an accurate representation of players' heads hitting the desks. Yeah,
something like that.
Pretty much that's what's happening. For all three of these players right now. There's definitely some headbanging going on with no rock concert in sight.
Head desk applied directly to the desk. And this was supposed to be billed as a very easy game too.
Oh, I don't plan on going into Foley work. Foley is no, I don't do sound very well. I'm a video guy. I'm learning on sound, but video is my main jam. Holy crap. Knighty has gotten somewhere. Not where they're supposed to, but it's somewhere.
Well, it's some form of progress. Still needs to be flexible enough with the laser to take it down. But it's certainly one piece of the puzzle, like, that helps.
They have to be realizing at this point that, okay, I have one capacitor left, one slot left for the capacitor. I need to bring the laser down somehow. Like, hopefully that's going through their head right now.
I thought for a second Smart might have been close to finally figuring out the premise for this cross puzzle, but she is undoing quite a few of her moves. Like, she needed to, because there were some pieces that were just plain too far down on the screen to work with. So it was a necessary evil, but I have a feeling she'll be close to getting that one very soon. There's just now at this point there's just a lot of thinking. Knighty thinking how to use this laser, Pidge thinking how to get behind all of these capacitors, Smart thinking what's the first thing I have to connect together. Definitely, this is definitely turning out to be a thinking person's game.
Yep. Although, I would rather a game like this, where at least people get walled at it, than a game like Puzzle.
Can we not talk about Puzzle anymore, please?
We can absolutely talk about Puzzle.
I'm still going through therapy to recover from that. Well, please.
It's a good thing that you don't have benefits, because I wouldn't be paying for it. Workers' comp doesn't cover this.
If only I could use some hazard pay.
Couldn't we all?
Okay. Let's see if we can find out some more information about this train jam that this game was made on.
Man, I want to do a puzzle jam now. I want to have a puzzle game event happening on a train. Let's do it. Let's go fund me this.
We shall see. So the 2016 train jam took place from 10 a.m. on March 10th, 2016 to 4 p.m. on March 12th. Started in Chicago's Union Station and ended in Emeryville, California. There were two different price points for tickets. There were coach tickets at $170, and there were Superliner roomette tickets at $390. That not only featured access to all of the basic train jam amenities, and also gave a bed in a shared two-person room.
See, $170 doesn't seem all that bad for a travel of that distance. Because, I mean, at least with a train, you get to kind of like sit and do stuff and everything like that, in comparison to driving. Where if you're the driver, you're pretty shit out of luck. I would go to a train jam. I wouldn't be of any use, but I would go to one.
All right. Let's see.
What do we got here?
Oh,
Pidge is pretty close.
Oh,
I think. And ended it all. Okay.
Yeah, unless you can get to the other side from the top, you're not getting that formation to work. And like it looks like Smart has some of the pieces together in order to solve this puzzle, but she can't quite put it all together right now. And all Pidge and Smart can do at this point is just sit there and wonder, with the rooms fully reset, wondering how to do these puzzles. I believe Pidge has been in her stage for like 38 minutes, and Smart has been on her stage for at least, has it been 20 minutes? I've lost track.
That's just grueling.
Like some of these stages blur together, and there's no grade of which floor which stage you're currently on and how much further you have to go.
Yep. But the thing is, at least in the Pidge's and Smart's case, neither of them have done, so for all they know, one of them could be ahead of the other. They just have to keep plowing through.
Let's see. And as Pidge and Smart continue to engage in exercise and futility, let's take a look at some of the other games that were submitted, that were made in Train Jam 2016. There are 63 games.
Wow.
Currently uploaded on the Train Jam itch.io page, where you can find such gems as a Max Capacitor, an endless runner called Runaway Train, and Train Jam Simulator 2K16. So you could play a game about participating in Train Jam 2016 while you play in while you develop in Train Jam 2016. Wow! After like 40 minutes, Pidge finally
got it
through. Wow!
All it took was mentioning the fact that you can train jam while you train jam as you train jam, and she got through.
Whoa! The mind is blown.
And this stage is, I think it's comparatively easier than the last one, so she might get through it.
Oh, Smart's finally getting it!
Yeah!
Oh! Pushed it a little too hard, but you gotta do that. There we go. Woo!
Well, she officially beat where I got through, because I didn't make it through that stage.
Maybe she'll have a chance to solve this puzzle a little faster than Pidge did. Pidge figured out the next room not without too much trouble.
Yeah, that one I think it's supposed to be easy because it's supposed to teach you the laser mechanic. So it doesn't want to be overly complicated, or else you won't get the laser mechanic.
I mean, it seems like Pidge still has a chance to finish this.
Well, there is 5.5 minutes left.
So yes, the rule we have here at Mystery Puzzle Challenge is that after an hour, progress is cut off on the match, and generally whoever makes it the furthest in that hour of progress towards the goal will win the match.
In the case that there is a tie between the two players at the hour cutoff, it is the first person to get to the next significant sign of progression. So whether that be a stage or an item pickup or a new room or anything like that, first person to do that gets the win.
And believe... Oh.
Hey!
Hey, Knighty figured out what to do with the laser. And he is done in about 55 minutes, 30 seconds. Congrats on finishing.
That must have been so annoying and satisfying all at the same time, knowing that you finally completed the game, but at what cost?
At what cost? You certainly are not going to get that time back ever again. Okay. Oh, doesn't look like Smart is any close to completing this puzzle, and she kind of needs to get moving pretty quickly in order to catch up to Pidge. It's starting to look like Pidge might win this one on time, at this rate. I am really glad we did not have to. I don't think we're gonna have to go to any form of sudden death, because not gonna lie, I was sweating bullets during the proctoring of this match, because if Pidge had not finished the puzzle Smart was on, and they were both on this puzzle, considering that Pidge was taking close to 40 minutes on that one room alone, I was going to be really nervous for both of the competitors, just wondering how much longer the match is going to take.
So yeah, that might have been interesting.
I'm really fortunate that we're probably not going to have to exercise that rule in this match. Hopefully we don't ever have to use that rule.
We did use that rule once actually already. It was during a match with, I forget who it was, but the game was Keeper, and at the hour mark, well, like at the 58-minute mark, the one player managed to just reach the same stage as the other person, who was walled. It was stage 19 out of 20. And they were both on that stage. It hit the hour. The one person who got to that stage to just make it a tie. Yeah, it was Donkey and Xander, I believe. They just made it a tie. Hour cut off. Let them know that it's sudden death now. I counted them back in. And then it was just a race to see who could finish that puzzle first. And there's maybe a minute difference between the two finishing the puzzle. So it was crazy. That is probably the most hype moment of the tournament by far.
Yeah. Again, I'd rather not have to sweat it that much. At least to provide a little bit of entertainment. But
well, I think Smart has this.
Oh, I wonder if Pidge is also close to figuring this out. Yep, just move it up 2 more. Yep, 1 more. Move it up again.
Hey.
Ooh, there it is. Good job, Pidge. That's probably the last room she's gonna be able to complete. And as for Smart here, yeah, those 2 connected at the bottom are gonna be a bit of an issue.
Yep, because you can't do anything with them.
So
there's about 10 seconds left now.
So it looks like this Pidge and Smart match will end with Pidge taking it by 3 rooms over Smart. Pidge will be moving on in the next round to face Green Z Saber, and Smart will have to watch the rest of the tournament from the sidelines. Valiant effort, though. That was
very valiant effort. They got walled on the one stage, but they still made it pretty far in the game. So
very easy game, my foot.
Yeah.
That did not look to be a very easy game.
I mean, I'd give him a foot up somewhere with that definition, but
let's cut creators a bit of a break here.
It was made on a train, so who knows how insane they got.
They only had like 50 hours to make this, and there's certainly quite a bit of entertainment here for the 50 hours that were had.
But I mean, to be fair, it really goes. This is why creating goals for the tournament or testing the goals is really tough, because spacecow beat it in 30 minutes. Knighty just finished it in 55, and then it's unknown how much longer Pidge and Smart would have needed to finally complete the game. So it's like the goal was good. I mean, it's definitely beatable in that 30 to 45 minute time frame. but not for everybody. And it's why a tournament like this is interesting, because unlike a regular game where you can kind of just like roll through it, like any platformer or something like that, you'll just roll through it with trial and error and skill and stuff like that. Puzzle games, it really racks the brain a lot more, because you're not always able to kind of brute force a solution all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Or cheese a solution as well.
Right. Let's see here. Is there anything else that really needs to be talked about before we sign off for the night? I understand we're gonna get quite a few matches done tomorrow. Is that right, Aries?
Yes, there is currently 3 scheduled matches tomorrow. I don't know if the first 2 will be live. It's a very good question, because the one match is happening at 2 p.m. Eastern. So that's, if I can find somebody to restream that, because I'll try to be home for it, but I can't like confirm that I'll be home for it. Then we'll have that. Otherwise, there's another match happening at like 6 or 7, and then another happening at 10:30. So probably sometime between like that 6-7 time frame and the 10:30 time frame is when the matches will be all streamed together. So, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah. And as soon as we figure it out, you'll get the news on Twitter at Puzzle General. So make sure you follow us there for the latest Mystery Puzzle Challenge updates on when those matches will happen. So with that in mind, I believe that wraps up everything we have here for tonight's action. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for some more Mystery Puzzle Challenge matches. So for Dark Aries and everyone else here at Puzzle General, this has been Cards of the Heart, and this has been Mystery Puzzle Challenge on NASA Marathon. Thanks for watching.
See ya.